I feel so official. Hey guys. How are you doing? Did everybody meet somebody new? Yes? No? Are y'all lying to me just to say or respond? Okay. Let's see then. Who met who? Because you know me, I'm going to test you. Hold on. Let me make sure we're good. Yeah, I got quiet. Who did you meet new? What's her name? Okay. Well, Shay, who did you meet? You said Shay? See, y'all faking. Okay, if you can name two people names in the room, raise your hand. If you can name three people names in the room, raise your hand. 4, 5. Okay, we got a contender. Go ahead. And you're the first one here, so if you could say your name and then who did you meet in the room? He said 5, y'all, so we all testing him. Hi, Calvin. That's another name, everybody. So close, but so far. You got it. Oh, it's okay. It was close. It was close. Anybody can do 5? Going once. Going twice. Well, we're gonna give it up for Calvin for naming 4 people so far. But make sure we stay connected with everybody. Shout out to you all for networking. Again, never be shy in these type of environments, right? Because one thing that I'm big on, I know we're escaping the matrix, but a part of escaping the matrix is getting to know other people, right? A lot of times we come into environments, we go places, and we just do what we want to do, the norm, what everybody else is doing, or if I'm used to just walking into a building and sitting down and minding my own business. But who knows? Calvin might be the person that you need to connect with, and he might know somebody for the property that you want to live at or for the job that you need. You just never know, right? So never be afraid to tap in, okay? Cool beans. So let's get into the stew. Hello, my name is Samiyah, and I'm going to be talking to you all about moving beyond the bottom line of life. So what is the bottom line? The bottom line, so for those, I'll get into my story a little bit after this, but the bottom line is the American dream. So who in the room was told, and pause really quick, I'm a very interactive person. I'm very silly. They call me Silly Samiyah in this industry for a reason because I like to have a good time. I like to laugh, and I just believe that laughing and joy, it just makes you feel good. It feeds the soul. And fun fact, the more you laugh, the healthier you are. This just saying. It's just saying. It's a real thing. You can Google it. But anyways, the bottom line is the American dream. So you were told, go to school, right? Get a good job. Make sure that job is, you work hard, you stack your bread, you go wherever you need to go, and then you retire at what, like 50, 60? Is that the retirement? What's the retirement age now? 50s and 60s? I'm honestly not sure. 65? I'm not accustomed to that life. That's why that's not the goal. That's not the dream, right? But the bottom line is like this is what you should do, right? And I just like for me, 65 it just seems old to retire. At 65, can you really enjoy? Even if you do stack, hey girl, even if you do stack 6 figures or 7 figures at 65, unless you're at your prime health, can you really enjoy that income to the fullest ability? Yeah or nay? No, thank y'all. No, you can't. I mean, you can do it to a limit. I look around, I see people in my environment, in the places that I was raised in, and there was a problem for me. I did not want to see retirement at 65. There are people that I know right now who are still working at 65, even though they're supposed to be retired just because of inflation. just because of the rate. I went to Schnucks the other day, and I honestly had a handbasket full of items, and it cost $200. Again, thank God I had it, but at one point in time, a grocery cart would have $200 would be $200, and so that's why I had an issue. If I was just living by the bottom line and having my standard career, I wouldn't be able to afford living, right? And so I want to train us on how to move beyond the bottom line of life and what the standard is. So before I get into it, expectations. Dun dun dun. Take notes. Okay? If you know, you know. But make sure you all are taking notes. Fun fact, the average person has a hard time retaining information. They have to hear it at a minimum of 7 times before they retain something. So why not take notes so that you remember everything that all the value that you're getting here today, right? We're going to have presenters and speakers who are experts in what they do, been in this industry for over 4 years. I'll let the success speak for themselves when it comes. But we know what we're talking about, long story short. And so just make sure you're retaining it. And even if you don't want to use it, you can use it and transfer it to somebody else. Cool beans? And also listen with the intent to apply it. Don't just be here just to be here or to take a picture and say, hey, look what I did today. No, apply it to your life. Really, even if, again, you don't want to go into the exact industry that we're going into, utilize something that you learned here and apply it to your life and then give it to somebody else. Can we all agree to that? Yes? Yay. Okay. A little bit about me. I was born and raised here in St. Louis, Missouri. Yeah. I'm a 314 baby. I love the Lou. Okay. If you hear the here, there, everywhere, all there, like Nelly, that is a very real thing. Okay. Let me be great. All right. But I was born and raised in the inner cities of St. Louis, the youngest of 13 kids. Oh my God. Did she say 13? Yes. Yes, I did. You can only imagine how much I did not have growing up, right? I used to think for a long time that we were raised in poverty, that we had a hard life, but I recognized being in this industry for about 4 years now that it wasn't poverty, but it was more so a lack of opportunity because I wasn't exposed to the greater things, because I wasn't exposed to financial literacy, because I wasn't exposed to debt payoff and all the other things. We were accustomed to poverty, right? And so again, the bottom line for me at that point in time was just making sure the bills were paid, making sure we just had a place to stay, making sure we had food to eat. That was the bottom line for me. And so my mom, shout out to her, she didn't want us to have a hard life all of our life. So she chose to enroll me into a program here in St. Louis called the DSEC program. How many people here are from St. Louis? Raise your hand. Do you all know about the DSEC program? Okay, so I was a DSEC kid. DSEC, basically, it was desegregation, right? And so the idea of that program was to take the inner city kids and take them out to the county or the better school, the accredited schools, in order for us to get a better education. And so my mom enrolled me into that program. When she did that, she transferred, and I was exposed to better opportunities. I started looking around at my classmates. For those, we have a running joke here in St. Louis. You have to tell us what high school you went to in order for us to know who you are. So I went to Parkway Central, and at that school, I saw my classmates, they were going to school. McDonald's was if you went to McDonald's for lunch, you was like that. You had a good reputation or whatever. You had money. Ooh, right? And so my classmates was going to McDonald's. They were going to Starbucks after school. They were involved in all the clubs. And I'm just looking around like, I want to do that. I want to be able to have lunch when I want to have lunch. I want to be able to go and skip lunch at the cafeteria and drive wherever I wanted to do. And so I started asking questions. Well, how are you able to afford this? How are you able to do this? Well, my dad's doing this. I'm like, well, what does your dad do? Right? What does your mom do? Do you have these? My mom gave me this account, and I have this allowance, and I have this. I'm like, allowance? What is that? Seriously. And like now that I know what it is, I'm 30 years young. Well, 31. Dang, I just had a birthday yesterday. Whoop, whoop. Thank you. But now that I know what that is now, I recognize, wow, how much I did not know at the age that I was. I was, a sophomore in high school? And I didn't know about financial literacy. I didn't know about budgeting. I didn't know about the basics of credit. as a sophomore in high school, right? For that was a problem. And so that taught me that I needed to move beyond the bottom line. No shade to my mom, no shade to the way that I grew up, but it taught me the importance, thank you, of budgeting, of how I need to manage my finances better. And so I grew passionate about it, and I started transferring that mindset and that energy into the financial industry, and that's why I want to transfer to you all today. Who in here has a budget? Raise your hand. Do y'all be sticking to y'all budget? That's the problem. That's fine. Thank you for your honesty. But that's the problem right there. I will make a budget every single day and not stick to it. Or I would make my budget in my mind. Anybody done it? I know this week I'm gonna get paid $1,000, so only like 300 of that needs to go towards bills for this week, and then I'll have about 500 left over for finance or whatever I want to do, and then maybe I could have like another 300, and then maybe like 200. Like, oh, I'm over my budget already, and not knowing that I'm already over my budget mentally, but in my mind it sounds good. In my mind it looks good. That's why it's important to put it down on paper. So we're gonna walk through steps of what to do with your money. I know we're talking about investing. I know we're talking about getting to the bag. But if you don't know what to do with your money, what's the good of having it? Yes? Yay? Nay? Cool. So we're about to build a budget and build on what to do with your money. These are principles that have made me successful in this industry. Sorry, I forgot to tell you as well, I have been in this industry for about 4 years, coming up on March 7th. March 7th of 2021 was the day that I chose to transition from struggling and surviving into making a decision for myself. Okay? To be great. So, with budgeting, dun dun dun. Step number 1, identify a goal. Goals will be things like, let's see, launching a business, retire a family, pay off debt. Okay, let's see. Casey, oh, sorry, I got you right in the middle of drinking.
What's up?
What's a goal that you would have that you would need to create a budget for?
Get my mom a beach house.
Here, come on, mom living nice on the beach house. So we have a goal. Casey mom needs a beach house. She's going to get her beach house, okay? It's going to be nice. It's going to be, 2 stories? You know, right off the beach, you're going to have a nice view, windows all around. So when having that goal, right? So first we're establishing what it is. That's our first step. And then second, with that goal, we want to gather data for it. Okay, so we have the beach house now. How much would our beach house cost? You want to know the expenses that are going to go into it. So we have lighting, heating, the things. Okay, if you ever owned a house, you need to know the property taxes. You need to know the cost of closing. You need to do all these things. And I want us, when it comes to our goals, we have to be as specific as possible. Okay, so if I'm going to get a beach house, do I want it built from the ground up? If it's not just a beach house, if I want to pay off my debt, what is that number? How much will it cost to really spiral my debt down, snowball my debt down, right? For me, when I was setting my goals, shout out to the budget, this time next year, come May of next year, I'll be completely debt free. I'm super, super excited. That's a good thing to clap for. Be excited for me. I will be excited for y'all. Thank you. It took a lot of hard work and a bunch of sacrifices, okay? Just saying. It was not easy, but God is great. Anyways, but seriously, right? And so the reason I was able to do that is because, one, I first set a number. I was specific. And I need y'all to understand why this works. I'm going to say all this stuff not to brag, but so you can understand it works. Right? So for those who don't know, I was diagnosed with lupus in 2015. So hospital bills is a very real thing for the first 3 years of my diagnosis. I was in and out of hospital for like 5 days, 9 days, 3 days at a time, multiple times a year. Alone, the emergency room was like $5,000 before I even saw anybody. Just so y'all understand debt. Okay? And then on top of that, I did go to school for 2 years. I did not graduate. So no shade to the people who didn't graduate. I just felt like school wasn't for me. Right? Clearly I'm doing fine. Okay? But that debt as well. And then you just have regular diet choices. I told you all, again, I was not financially taught. at a very young age. And so I just made bad credit choices. I made bad decisions with a lot of things, right? No shade to the people who just weren't financial literate, but I got a bunch of credit cards, maxed them out, and didn't pay them off. Debt, right? No shade. So I understand. I want you all to understand we have these things, and because a lot of times we have like debt stack up, and we're like, well, it's going to be too hard to pay off. It's going to take too much. It doesn't. It just takes discipline and consistency, right? And so that's why I'm going through these steps with you all, and that's why I'm letting you know from experience it's possible if you just do it. Follow the steps. Okay, so we have our goal. Our goal is specific, and then next we're going to list out our expenses. We're going to do our fixed expenses, our variable expenses, and our discretionary expenses. Okay, so fixed expenses are things that that you cannot change, that you cannot dictate. So again, like rent, car note, your utilities. These are things that are fixed. They're going to be there no matter what. Like right now, even though I'm not in my house, I still have to pay for rent, okay? Even if you go on vacation, we still have mortgage, okay? So these are your fixed expenses. Your variable expenses are things like groceries. It's a necessity. You got to eat, yes, but you can dictate how much you spend on groceries. That makes sense? Okay, perfect. And then the next one is discretionary. Ain't gonna hold you. For about 2-3 years, I didn't have a lot of this discretionary expenses because I was throwing it towards my debt payoff. And these are things that you can sacrifice. Do you need to go to the movies? Do you need to get your hair and nails done every other week? Child, do I need Starbucks every single day? No. But what? As long as you know. As long as you know. Child. But for a couple years, I didn't do it every day. I treated myself on the weekend. I was like, proud of you, Samiyah. You put that $10 a day towards, oh, child. You put that towards, you invested in coins. You invested into a trade to grow and invest into max and to flip. And you put that towards your debt payoff. Proud of you. So on Saturday and Sunday, guess what? Treat yourself, sis. And I did, okay? And that's what I did consistently. Now we're to a point where I can get my Starbucks again every day. Thank you, God. But for 2 years, I couldn't. And it's just, you have to have certain sacrifices, whatever your thing is. Maybe you don't need to go shopping every season for some new clothes. Maybe you can refresh and recycle and just switch it up and get on Pinterest or something, how to switch up the outfit, whatever. Right? But we say we need all these things, and the reason that we need, quote unquote, these things were to appease other people. And what other people would think of us to keep up with the Joneses. Baby, put your head down, stack your bread, because come 30 and 40, you're going to be retired while everybody else is living towards the American dream. And they're going to be wondering like, oh, how did I get there? How did Samiyah, she's an overnight success. No, it wasn't overnight success. It was hard work and dedication. And we want that same thing for you. So that's why we're giving you the gems, okay? Let's keep it going. Keep it going. Perfect. Number 3. It's time for the budget. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, allocate your income to various categories. We want your needs, your wants, your savings, and your debt repayment, okay? Use the 50-30-20 rule. A lot of us have heard of the 80-20 rule, right? Yes or no? Yes. Sweet. Now we're going to transfer that to the 50-30-20, okay? This is how that works. So 50% of your income goes for needs. If you cannot live off of 50% of your income, adjust your needs. You're like, 50%? Oh my goodness, that's nothing. But I guarantee you, if you adjust it, it will do wonders. You will be able to pay off your debt quicker. The issue that I had with the 80-20, because the 80-20 says live off of 80% of your income and 10% or 20% either save it. For me, I love Jesus, so it was 10% tithing and 10% saving. Right? However, it took longer to pay off and to save and put that towards debt. Okay? So with 50, you do with the 50-30-20, you do 50% towards your needs, 30% towards your want, and 20% towards your savings and your debt repayment. For me, that 30% quote unquote wants I added that to my debt repay off. That makes sense? So again, you can do that how you want to do it, but I recommend this way. It works quicker. But again, you have free will. You can do whatever you want to do. Just letting you know it works. Cool? Any questions, comments, concerns? Beautiful. Number 4, analyze and adjust. So now that we have all of our needs, now that we have all of our expenses, now that we have everything that we've done, it's time to analyze your budget. How many times do you all review your budget monthly, weekly? Weekly? Daily is a tactfulness, okay? Well, for real, I look at it every day how many expenses we do. So on average, the person, they do it monthly, which I do not recommend at all. At minimum, I recommend weekly. So what I personally do on Sundays, I assess how much money I spent for the week. Sundays, I do my schedules. I plan out what I'm doing for the week. And while I'm doing my scheduling and plans for the week, I also list out how much money I intend to spend this week. After I lay out how much money I intend to spend this week, I divide it by 7. Because there's how many days in a week? Yes. Y'all sure? How many days in a week? 7. Okay. So making sure we know. But cool. So 7 days in a week, right? And so that means each day I'm spending this amount of money. So let's say it's $40 for the day. I went out to eat. It cost $20. I needed to put some gas in my tank because that was $25. Oh my goodness, I'm over budget. So what do I do for the next day? I spend $35 instead of $40. Are we understanding? This is what we have to do. We have to be consistent. I'm telling you, because at first I just did a weekly budget. I'm like, this is how much money I have for the week. And by Wednesday I was over budget. I was like, okay, that doesn't work. So I need to do daily spending habits. This is how much money I'm going to spend every single day. I know it seems tedious, and to me it felt real childish. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm like, who am I to say I only have $40 to spend for a day? Who am I to, and it started, when it first started, transparently, it was like $20, $25. And baby, in this society, that is nothing. So that's why those expenses and what I wanted to do, a lot of times I just didn't do them. And that's okay. Sometimes you cannot go out. Sometimes you have to miss those drinks with friends. Sometimes you have to miss those engagements. Samaya's favorite question for the first 2 years of this process was, is it free? Who was paying, right? Because it's not me. Okay? And that's okay. And that is okay. I need us to understand. I feel a lot of times the only reason we don't stick to our budget is because we want to live up to an image. That's why I'm going deep on mindset. Once we understand that no one has a heaven or hell to put you in, so they do not dictate your destiny and where you're going. And 2, they're not paying your bills. Nobody else is paying your bills. Nobody else is in charge of what's going on, the meals and the food that you eat. So why are we even thinking about or worried about what other people think of us anyway? People will have something to say about you, whether you do something good or do something bad. So give them something to talk about. Okay, oh my God, Samaya's in the house all the time. Yes, she is. Take a picture. Hello. Right? And just let them know it's okay. I'm letting you all know it's okay to make those sacrifices, so do not worry about it. Make sure when you're analyzing that you have tools that you're equipped with. You're just not putting it in different places all the time. Make sure you have one journal, one Google Calendar, whatever you want to use. But keep it in one place. Everything in one place. Because if it's scattered around, it will scatter your thoughts and your processes, and you become unorganized, and it creates chaos. And we don't want that. Cool beans?
Very important step, by the way.
Very important step, by the way. No, seriously, it is. And it's needed. And then again, adjust and repeat. So once you have your list of things and everywhere, look at it, analyze it. So if you notice that you spent, so one of my main, again, I joke about Starbucks all the time, but I was really overspending on Starbucks. It was actually insane. I was spending basically a car note on Starbucks, and it was insane. Yeah, right. A car note. I didn't say a specific note. I am not going to say how much it was because I just shouldn't have been doing it. But too much, right? And it was but again, mentally, it was because it was attached to, as a child, right, the Joneses and the people that I wanted to be like went to Starbucks during school. So to me, going to Starbucks was a identifying process. And then I started to actually like Starbucks. And I was like, ooh, double whammy, right? So now I feel like I gotta have it, and then it looks good to have it at the same time, right? Addicted. Ugh. Okay, but thank God for deliverance. Anyway, but again, these are things. So if I don't have to spend, adjust and repeat, adjust and repeat. Look at how much you're spending on things. Look at how much these things cost. Look at how much you're going into. And if you could change something, change it and repeat. Change it and repeat the entire process from top to bottom all over again. Okay? So we're analyzing, we're setting those goals, we're being as specific as possible. We're going down the list and being detailed as possible when it comes to our expenses. And we're listing it out and keeping it in one place. And that 50-30-20 rule, I really want us to retain that because that's one of the most important parts of everything is being and sticking to it, being as specific as possible and sticking to it. And last but not least, get an accountability partner. Get somebody who will check in on you, who will tell you, hey sis, why are you out there right now? I have people in my corner though. Somebody don't do that. You know you're not supposed to be doing that. But it feels good, but it looks good, but it tastes good, but Samiyah. And you need somebody in your corner that will tell you no, that will tell you that you're tripping, that will remind you, hey, with this accountability person, you have to be as specific as possible with them. This needs to be somebody that you can trust with your deepest, darkest secrets, that won't judge you, that won't judge your credit, that won't judge your bad life choices. Okay? Get somebody like that in your corner that can do that for you. This is important when it comes to escaping the matrix because once you know what to do with your money, once you know how to handle your money, this becomes like a habitual. It becomes habitual for you. So now that when resources come and opportunities come, because when the way that crypto is moving right now, you can easily, if you don't have a budget or you don't have goals on investing, baby, it can get real sticky for you. Okay? But if you know what to do with it, if you have an amount of money that you're okay, so now that my debt is going good and my 50-30-20 part of that 30% says I have $50 a week to invest into crypto or $100 a week to invest into the foreign exchange market, right? Now that I have this and I'm living by it, so I don't have to like, oh shoot, maybe I just need $10, maybe I just need $100. And just making bad choices off of desperation, off the hype, okay? So make sure we know what to do with our money, where our money is going, and what is happening. Cool beans? Perfect. That is my portion. Make sure we stay connected. This is my Instagram. If you haven't followed me on Instagram already, shame on you. But it's okay. This is your opportunity to change that. Okay? Make sure to stay connected. If you do not have Instagram, it's okay. I have Facebook too. Okay? So make sure we stay connected for real. And if you ever have questions about things, I interact with people. I engage with people. If you have questions about anything throughout the week, if you want to know financial literacy, this is not all that I do. I'm a people's person. Wow. So I love people. I love to help people become greater. Woman, come on, Casey, talk to me. Woman of the people, okay? My dream and my goal in life is to become better and to help other people become 1% greater every single day. And now I have the honor of passing it on who becomes greater.